The whole cafeteria froze. The sound of a tray clattering to the floor echoed across the walls as silence devoured the laughter that had filled the room moments earlier. A girl lay on the ground, her lip bleeding, one hand gripping her cheek. Her name was Amara Daniels, the new transfer student, the quiet black girl who barely spoke a word since arriving last week. And standing over her, smirking, was Brianna, the queen bee of Lincoln High. "You really thought you could sit at our table?" Brianna hissed, brushing her golden hair back. Amara slowly lifted her gaze. The room expected her to cry, maybe beg. Instead, she wiped the blood from her lip with the back of her hand. Calm, quiet, unbroken. If anyone had looked closely, they would have seen something dangerous behind those brown eyes, a kind of fire no one had ever seen before. And in that single second, the bullies had no idea they'd just picked a fight with the wrong girl. Because Amara wasn't just any new student. She was someone trained for resilience, molded by hardship, and connected to someone powerful, someone these bullies could never imagine. And before this day ended, every single person in that cafeteria would know exactly who Amara Daniels really was. Amara Daniels moved to Lincoln High 2 weeks before the fall semester began. Her mother, Sergeant Maya Daniels, had just been transferred to a military base outside town after years of overseas service. Amara had lived her whole life between bases, Germany, South Korea, Kenya, but this time was supposed to be different. Her mom promised, no more moving. You'll finally finish school in one place. But Lincoln High wasn't the fresh start Amara hoped for. From her very first day, whispers followed her down every hallway. Her deep skin tone, natural curls, and quiet nature made her an easy target. Students snickered, called her names under their breath, and questioned where she really came from. Still, Amara kept her head down. She remembered her mother's words, "You don't fight every battle. Some wars you win by standing tall." At lunch, she sat alone at the farthest corner, sketching in her notebook portraits of her late father, who had died in the line of duty, and her mother, her rock. Drawing was her escape. But one day, that peaceful moment shattered. Brianna and her group, 3 girls with too much privilege and too little kindness, decided the new girl, sitting at their usual table, was a crime worth punishing. "Excuse me," Brianna said, tapping Amara's shoulder. "You must be lost. That table is for seniors." Amara didn't look up. "There's no name on it." That simple sentence sparked laughter from the others. Brianna's pride couldn't handle being dismissed. She yanked Amara's tray and tossed it on the floor, spilling food everywhere. The cafeteria erupted in gasps. But Amara didn't react. She just looked at Brianna, steady, calm, fearless. That look, it wasn't defiance. It was power contained, and that unnerved Brianna more than anything. The next day, it got worse. They shoved Amara's books off her desk, called her name, spread rumors online. Amara endured it all in silence, but something inside her began to crack. Then came the day in the cafeteria, the day that would change everything. Brianna, in her usual dramatic flair, decided to teach the new girl a lesson. As Amara tried to walk past, Brianna blocked her way and tripped her. Laughter exploded. But when Amara stood back up, her eyes locked with Brianna's. And that's when the ringleader smirked, lifted her knee, and drove it into Amara's face. The cafeteria fell silent. Amara staggered, one hand holding her face. The taste of iron filled her mouth, and for the first time she felt something she hadn't in a long while: rage. Her breath slowed. Her posture straightened. Every ounce of discipline her mother had drilled into her, the self-defense, the control, the awareness, kicked in. She looked at Brianna and said quietly, "You really shouldn't have done that?" Then, in one swift motion, Amara sidestepped, twisted Brianna's wrist, and used the girl's own weight to bring her crashing down to the floor. Gasps echoed through the room. The move was clean, controlled, and precise, something straight out of a tactical training video. "Whoa, did you see that?" someone whispered. "What was that?" "Karate." Amara didn't say a word. She picked up her notebook, adjusted her hoodie, and walked out, leaving Brianna groaning on the floor. That day, the entire school started whispering a new name, the Silent Storm. But trouble was only beginning. The principal called Amara's mother to school the next day. Brianna's parents, wealthy donors, demanded Amara's expulsion. When Sergeant Maya Daniels walked into that office, every teacher stood a little straighter. Her crisp uniform and sharp presence filled the room. "Is this about my daughter defending herself?" Maya asked calmly, sitting down. The principal stuttered, "Well, ma'am, there was an altercation." An assault, Maya interrupted, by your student, and I have witnesses. Even Brianna's friends stayed quiet, terrified after seeing how Amara moved. The board decided on temporary suspension for both girls, but word spread quickly, and what started as bullying had turned into something much deeper. Everyone wanted to know who Amara really was. Days later, Amara sat quietly at home, sketching again. Her mother entered, sitting beside her. You did good, Maya said softly. You didn't start the fight, but you ended it with control. That's what your father would have done. Amara smiled faintly. I didn't want to hurt her, but she left me no choice. Her mother nodded. You remind me of him more every day. That night, a message appeared on social media. Brianna had uploaded a video trying to make Amara look like the aggressor. It showed only part of the cafeteria scene, but what Brianna didn't realize, someone else had filmed the whole thing. The full clip showed everything: the shove, the knee to the face, the self-defense. It went viral. Within hours, students, teachers, and even local news outlets were talking about it. The caption read, "New girl attacked for no reason, but you won't believe how